Have you ever given much thought to what you want your life to look like? I don't mean what kind of events you want to have happen and where you want to go in your work or family things or whatever. I just mean what you want it to look like. That is, what your surroundings are like. That would mean in your home, in your office, in your location, wherever that might be, in your neighborhood. What do you want it to look like? We often just don't think about that because it's more like, well, I'm here, and daily life kind of gets in the way of stopping to really think about these things. But today, in my big giant glue book, which I've made out of a calendar, I'm talking about and creating pages with regard to what I want my life to look like. So the kind of things that I want to have in my life, some of them are changes in decor, some of them are just represent things I would like to have happen. By and large, it's just a collection of things that I would like to have my life look like. So come along with me and you'll see what I find, and you might relate to some of these or at least get inspired to think about how you want your life to look. Let's get started. So what I've done here is, as I mentioned in previous videos, I've gone through a whole lot of my old magazines and pulled out everything I thought I would like and that appeals to me on some level. And just, I mean, it's a stack this high of pages. So lots of material to work with. Plus I've ordered some stickers and things like that. Here's some I just got last week, which I showed in my last video. Vintage dresses. And also these lovely ones, which I may or may not use, but I thought I would just collect a few things like that. And out of these, I have trimmed some of them up and I'm not really sure how it's going to work out. But there are just certain things that just looking at them makes me think, oh, I love that. Like, I love anything about the sea. So I love this image, and I love these colors. And this reminds me of France, for example. It's actually from a French magazine. And same here. This is a page out of a French magazine called Marie Claire Idée, which is all ideas for crafting things. But what I really like is not so much this board, but this and this blue color. So when I'm looking for things, it's like, what makes me really go, ooh? And a linen dress that is just like a simple summer shift, and walking on a beach in bare feet. You know, this is just, what I'm looking for is things that evoke a feeling. I mean, you can use that for all kinds of things. So you say, I want to do this, I want to go here, why? Ask yourself what feeling it evokes. For example, I love to go to the ballet. And I could say, okay, well, why do I love that? It's because of the feeling it evokes, which is being in the presence of beautiful music and beautiful dancers. I'm not so crazy about modern ballet because sometimes it's harsh, not very pretty, and I want my life to be pretty. I want beautiful things because there's enough ugly in the world and I don't need to be part of it. And I certainly don't need to welcome it into my life. And here's another one. I love linen, and this is lavender just embroidered on these cloths, which I don't know even what they're for. The colors just make me feel calm and peaceful. So I've trimmed up a bunch of things here and kind of sort of semi-placed them here and there, and I'll need to fill some things in. This, for example, is so beautiful and so romantic looking. And so I could look at that and say, okay, how can I create this in my life in some way that evokes this feeling of romance and carefreeness and relaxation, and also like it looks like there's champagne or prosecco or something here on the table and some flowers. It's just elegant, and I love elegance. In fact, I would say my decorating style is a combination of elegant traditional and beach cottage. So you'll probably see little bits of all that in all the things that I do that have to do with lifestyle and those kind of evocative feelings. So when I look at this, I think, well, I don't have an arbor like this with grapevines, or yeah, they're grapevines, but I do have a deck on the front of my house, and I could create something like this. In fact, what I've thought of doing is hanging sheets along the side, or curtains. I'd probably get some semi-sheer fabric or shower curtains or something like that, and close in the sides in the summertime, so that it makes this kind of little seating area. And I have a nice little wicker bench out there with cushions and whatnot, and a table that I hand painted a long time ago, and some little chairs like the French folding chairs. So, and those kind of things, like I have created what I wanted to evoke. And I love spending time out there in the summertime reading. And anyway, there's that idea, which I might use. So I'm just going to start putting these things together. I have them kind of laid out, and we'll see how it goes. I love this because this is probably my favorite color. Blue anything really is my favorite color, but right now I'm loving this color. And last time I mentioned that taking my office apart and fixing it up, basically turning it into studio space. I've convinced my husband to paint it, and it's going to be a soft, like really soft pink, even softer than this color. The reason I can ask him to paint is that he used to be a professional house painter for years, and then he moved to a different kind of job, but he's always willing to paint for me. Now I'm trying to decide whether to put this blue underneath these tiles or over top, and either way, should I cut some of it off? And I think what I'll do is cut some of it. I'll cut it so I can do it either way, but then it won't be wasted. This has got to be the handiest thing you can have in your craft studio. So if I put this down first, then and put this over top, then that actually works. So then that way it doesn't matter which one goes down first. So this is the glue, and I have a link below for where you can get it. It's really good glue. It's very sticky. You just have to make sure you pop it back into its holder. Otherwise, it sort of, like most glue sticks, will sort of gum up, and it'll go kind of solid, and then you can't really move it. So there's my starting place, but isn't this beautiful? This, which is such a beautiful thing, I could cut that down here, couldn't I? Colors don't really work that well, but that doesn't matter. The theme here is things I love, not necessarily things that match. So that'll solve that problem now, because this evokes lazy afternoons when it's hot out but cool inside. Don't you think? I think so. And it's kind of a shame to sacrifice that because I really like it. It's just how it goes. So we've had typical spring weather here, which is cold and wet, cold and wet, cold and wet, and then 30 degrees Celsius, which is, 75 or something. It's actually closer to 80. It's 29.9 today. And the reason I know this is because we have thermometers all over the house. My husband likes weather stuff, keeps track of it all the time and stuff like that. Okay, now this one, I don't really want to sacrifice how the towel ends there, so I'm going to cut the top off. Anyway, he keeps track of the weather, and to do that you have to have, instruments all over the place. I'll have a few spaces that need filling in, but that's not a problem. I almost like to have this framed by something brighter. Here's an idea. This makes it tie in with the white of the other picture. So where is a little pencil here? I've been moving stuff around so much that I can't find stuff now. So we need that one there, and this one here. This is cardstock, which is a bit heavy for what I want, but that's okay. I don't want anything to show through it, so if I were to have just regular paper, it might show through. That dark background might show through. So I'll just cut this. I like this idea because it keeps it bright, because there's a lot of dark here, a big dark space here, really a lot of dark here, but I want some things to stand out as not being dark, dark. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this onto the white, right out to the edges so that they really stick down. Put that in there. Okay, that's not perfect, but it'll do. And now I can put this on here. This is a bit like decorating your living room. First you put in the big things, decide on the colors and styles and all that sort of thing. And then when you get those in, you can start with the small decor things, or the medium ones like cushions and curtains and or draperies and that sort of thing. There, see how much better that looks? It doesn't get lost. It's like, whoa, a basket of flowers, how pretty. Then you go to the little things like the candles and the flowers and the table runners and things like that. So that's kind of what this is like. So I do these big pieces, but then I have little spaces to fit in, and I might put washi tape down here and something over here just to, so this isn't just a big black spot. Now over on this side I've chosen these things, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to put them together, but I do know that I want this because I love the colors on the chairs. Anyway, speaking of evoking, my office/studio, which is going to be together in the same room once I get my redecoration finished, is this pale pink. And I have some IKEA wood shelves in there. And I had the idea today, I thought maybe while I've got everything sort of pulled apart, I should paint those shelves. Because I have a bunch of storage boxes, really pretty ones that I got from HomeSense, Home Goods, same company. The sort of paper, cardboard ones. And those ones are mostly pink. So I thought, oh, wait a minute, why don't I paint my shelving this color of pale blue, because these colors make me happy. And I think that's a worthwhile thing. It's a worthwhile goal to bring things into your life that just make you happy. Like in my last video when I talked about beautiful things, like beautiful things make you happy. And how could they not, really? I mean, if you're in a bad space emotionally, sometimes you don't even notice beautiful things. But if you do notice them, they do make you happier. And if you aren't in a happy space, taking time to just appreciate beauty is, I think, might help you get out of that unhappy place. I'm not a psychologist. Don't come after me for that. I'm just talking from my own experience and my own beliefs, and yeah, so let's leave it at that. But there is that one, and again, I'll probably put some trim along there. So I got this one out, which again is these kind of colors. They all go together, and just figuring out where to put it. Now I think I was going to put this in here. So that means I can put this here. This will cover up that number 4, which doesn't need to show. So let me do that. I had to take a short break because my battery died in my camera. Anyway, I couldn't stop in the middle of putting this down, so I just went ahead and did that. No, I can't even remember what I was saying. Anyway. Oh, I was going to say some of these are from the Coastal Living magazines, which is why there's this sort of coastal theme. And then some of them are from the French magazines, which would give us this kind of look, which are all like gorgeous, and I love them. So even a picture like this, if you say, well, what is it about that evokes something in me? What is it about it that I love? I'm going to use this other glue. And for me, a big part of it is the paint colors. I love that lavender blue, the pale yellow, and the pink, and them all together. Right, let's move this in. There's a bunch of floor here that doesn't really need to show. So there's that. And this one, I was going to put this down, but I should have put it underneath. I'll just lift this up while I still can. Like that. Put it in here so that it just covers that up. Okay, it's too wide, but I'll cut it off after. I had to take a break of an entire 24 hours because one thing happened and then another. I had a meeting online and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm back and I'm going to make this work. But first, I have to stick this down and then we'll be kind of close to the end. But first I wanted to show you a book that I got in when I was away last week. It's called A Book That Loves You Back, An Adventure in Self-Compassion by Irene Schmidt and Astrid van der Hulst, who are from the Netherlands, I believe. But I love this kind of book that has like activities and lots of art, and this is like Be Kind to Your Body, little fun things to do. It's just really, really lovely, really encouraging. Love being alone, I do. How do you keep going when you're grieving? Just things like that to think of. You know, I just thought, I just couldn't resist it. Farewell to who we thought we were. That should be interesting. How to fail. I think we probably all know a little bit about that. Love your idle time. So it has fun things like this. Your own user manual. I've hardly looked at it, so I just thought I would share that quickly, and I'll put a link to it below if I find one. And I thought you might like that. To continue with this, I need to cut these roses. So this glue, of course, has dried. And I'm going to use the glue stick on this. And I have this magazine from the library. It's called Britain. And I love it because I don't subscribe because usually things that come from overseas are kind of expensive, but I borrow it from the library. And I love it because it has a lot of history. It's like part travel log, part history. Just really lovely. And in the one that I have right now from the library, it's got an article about William Morris and the house where he lived. And if you don't know who he was a designer and designed furniture and wallpaper and fabric designs and all kinds of stuff like that. And his story is a little bit sad. But I also, wait a minute, I want to talk about this. I also watched a video this morning about having a Commonplace book. Now, a couple of years ago, I actually did a video on Commonplace Book. I watched one this morning by Jennifer L. Scott, who has a very lovely YouTube channel. I'll put a link to hers below as well. But she was talking about a Commonplace book, and I thought, oh, what a lovely idea. Anyway, stay with me because these thoughts all do connect. But I have this beautiful suede painting journal that my daughter gave me a couple of years ago. And so I decided to make it a Commonplace book. So I put in here, Commonplace Book begun in May 2023. And I had written something earlier, but this is a quote by William Morris: "To grumble and not to act, that is throwing away one's life." And I thought, what a great, concise thought that is. I thought I would share that because I love the thought that grumbling but not doing anything about it is such a waste of a life. So I'm going to put this down, but first let me just put this underneath here so I don't get this glue on the other pages. And then I can stick it back down over top of this. There we go. All right, now I'm going to need something in here, and I think I will go with some of my smaller things, maybe some stickers. But it has to be something that covers fairly well. Let me see what this is. Oh, that's so nice. But it's kind of facing the wrong way. So let's see, where else could I put this? Because I just want to use it now. I could put it there, but it kind of covers up too much. That might be a good place there. I think it works best there. It kind of just blends in, goes with everything. So let's do that. I just saw it here. I think it's left over from last time I made a video. That one's cool. Anyway, there's so many pretty images. However, getting back to my topic, which is surrounding yourself with things that you love that make you happy. For me, when things aren't happy, having something to make me happy is so worthwhile. But you won't even notice it if you don't take notice. So in other words, you can be in the depths of misery of yours or someone else's making, you know, and you can still look around you and have something to be thankful for, and that will lift your spirit and that kind of thing. That's cool, but another time. So I want to put in some sayings that sort of capture that. And this set, Stickabilities, Petals and Blooms sticker pack, does that. Now I need to measure this. I like this one that says gorgeous, but it might be not quite big enough. I like introducing the pink in here because it kind of pulls together these flowers and these flowers. It is a little bit see-through, but that's okay. And then something over in here maybe as well. Plus, I did mention using some washi tape to add to this, and I think I have the perfect one here. Now, these are recollections from Michael's. And this one here is just thin and a lively color, or a soft color anyway. Oh, hold on. First I want to fill in this spot. Now, I got these when I was in Victoria, and these are the kind that are so hard to get off their backing paper. It's really hard to know which way to try and separate them. And they're washi tape ones too, so they're kind of see-through as well, but I think they'll do enough in the way of camouflage, or just to add a little something. And then I'm going to put this down here. From here, let me see, I want this to just butt up against that white. There we go. So that looks after that. I wonder if I want it here as well. It's the decisions that take a long time. Okay, so if I put it right there to the top of this, then it'll go with the page opposite as well. And if I take it right down to the bottom again, then it covers up that little jog. So I have an idea that I'm considering. I'm still mulling it over in my mind, so I'm not going to really say too much about it. However, I think it's something that we probably all love to do and maybe learn more about. So I think just watch, if you're not on my email list yet, get on there, because I'll be probably mentioning it in my email newsletter that comes out Monday morning. Usually morning. Occasionally it comes out Monday afternoon, but that's a fluke. And also I might do a little poll on or on YouTube and just see what everybody thinks. Okay, so this is where we are here with this. All these beautiful things for a beautiful life. I want to also add another little saying, maybe up in here. You are a diamond, darling. Live in wonder. That's nice. Today is the best day. Dream, love, create, inspire. Do I want to have yellow in there? Maybe, because there's a little bit of yellow here and sort of yellow here and yellow here. So, okay, this one wins. And again, it's kind of a little bit see-through. How about if I do it right kind of across this top there? You have to look at it really closely to see it, because I'm not sure that I'm happy with that. However, anyway, I might go over it. Let's see. I don't even know if this kind of pen will work. All right, well, it looks handmade if nothing else. So there's my layout for things that make you happy. These things all make me happy. I love the colors. I did want to cover this up though, so one moment. I like that one. I think that works. It sort of goes with the whole feeling. So getting back to evoking a feeling, this, I think this does it. Just imagine a beautiful summer day, which by the way, it is today here. It's suddenly hot. And I wanted something over here too, didn't I? I wonder if one of these sort of see-through ones would work. I think they would actually. Let's see if I can find a shape. Come on, they're so slippery. I think I like this one. So I'll just push those off there. And this is a sticker, which is sticky on one side. It's slippery on both sides, so how on earth do you get them apart? There we go. It's hard to know which side to roll your thumb toward. Perfect. I think this is perfectly lovely, and I love that it's in my book, and look at that, I just smeared that all up. I wondered if it would dry very quickly. Well, I can fix it maybe. What if I just take it off? See, mistakes happen. That did not work out very well, and now I'm stuck with that. So let's see if there's another long one. Here's one. It's dark, so it should hide that. And it's the same length. Just want to make sure I get it in the exact right spot so I don't have to pull it off. There. Well, it's almost exact. I think it still works. But hey, blunders happen. When they do, just, you know, do something about it. Just don't sweat it. This is not a game of perfection. I think that actually works there too. So I should probably stop talking soon, and then I can get at the editing. So this is ready to go. There we go. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and watch for that little poll that I'll be putting up in the next, I don't know, few days or something. Also, click the little bell so that you can get the notifications when I have a new video. And I'd love it if you would leave a comment. I really like that. And click the thumbs up button, because that tells the algorithm something that is good for me. And I would just love it. And I'll see you next time.